Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. So we're still watching these two named storms. We have Lee, we have Margot, both hurricanes. We've been watching them for days. We also have that Invest 97. Good chance of that will end up becoming our next named system, or at least a tropical system as we go through the next couple of days. So first up on the list, it's Hurricane Margot. Winds right now are at 90 miles an hour. It's moving to the north-northwest at 7 miles an hour. But watch this track as we go through the next few days here. It works its way to the north. It does a little stall and turns and then starts to weaken. So basically, this storm is going nowhere fast, not expected to affect any land areas for the time being. So here we are with now Hurricane Lee. A couple of days ago, this was that classic looking hurricane, well formed, very circular. Since then, the wind shear is starting to pick up over this system. We're starting to see that dry air working its way in. And you see all these clouds just kind of racing on towards the north. That's that wind shear starting to make this a little bit more lopsided, carrying some of these cloud tops onto the north and the northeast. And then you see these slots through here. That's that dry air starting to get pulled into this system, so that center, the eye, looking a little more ragged. Hurricane reconnaissance plane, they'll be flying into this system later on this afternoon to get a much better idea of exactly what's going on with this. But as you look at that wind shear map, it shows you that stronger wind shear, and as this continues to work its way to the north, it will get into an area with even stronger wind shear, so that wind will continue to pick up over the system. You can clearly see that trough that we've been talking about for about a week or so now, and that is what is helping to pick this system up and steer it on to the north. Now, typically we talk about these systems and we say the worst part of this is on that eastern side of the storm, but as it continues to work its way to the north and it starts to interact with this trough, it will start to change, and you're actually going to see a lot of that weather over on that western side of the storm. So right now, winds are at 115 miles an hour. It's moving to the north-northwest at 9 miles an hour. Moves to the west of Bermuda, and then you start to see a little bit of that snaking pattern, and really kind of depends on how much it bends back towards the west. How much does it affect Maine? But remember, with more of that weather being on that western side, we're certainly going to see quite a few effects across Maine, across the New England states, and then obviously all along this coastline. We're seeing the very large surf, the dangerous rip currents, and the possibility, especially as you get further to the north, of that coastal flooding. And then working its way right up towards the Bay of Fundy, that is going to cause some huge issues up into that part of the world, up towards Nova Scotia. So you look at our three different models here, the European, the GFS, and our own exclusive Fox model, very tightly clustered. We're getting very good agreement. So here it is, going to the west of Bermuda as we head through Friday night. And then as we get up into Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, heading into the evening, again, very tightly clustered through this area. The coastline of Maine could really take a battering with this. Really what we're seeing with this is just more of a timing issue of exactly when does this come on shore. But obviously all through this area, this is going to be a major, major issue up into that region. So then you see these winds spreading along the coastline, gusty winds from the Carolinas all the way up through New Jersey, up towards Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, all the way up into Maine. In fact, Cape Cod could see those winds very close to hurricane force as this passes through on Saturday. So there's wave heights in this area as well. There you see those waves increasing really from as we get into Thursday evening along the Carolina coastline, and then pushing up into the northeast up towards Halifax, Nova Scotia, as well as we head into late Friday and into Saturday. So a lot of effects all along the coastline, and we will continue to keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.